Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. And today we're featuring a replay from one of the very best World of Tanks players out there, who also happens to be one of the most laid back and unflappable World of Tanks players out there. It is of course none other than Orzanel. Orzi, as he likes to be known, comes from Romania, so of course he plays on the EU server. He has over 103,000 followers on Twitch, and, well, in today's video you're going to see why they all watch him. So, we're on the Westfield map. It's a tier 7 battle, and Orzi is in the AMX-12T, the French tier 6 autoloading light tank, a tank that never actually existed, although development work was done on it, and the development work that went into the AMX-12T was later used to bring about the AMX-13. So, well, you could say that this tank didn't exactly not exist, even though no versions of it were ever built. Interestingly, the specification for the design called for that 75mm gun to be fed from a 6-shot drum, and of course, here in World of Tanks, it only has a 4-shot drum, as you can quite plainly see, but, well, as long as you're making shit up. The decision was made for game balance purposes. Anyway, Orzi is doing the smart thing at the start of this battle. He's finding himself a bush with commanding views of the surrounding scenery, and he's just spotting tanks for the team. The AMX-12T does not have great view range. In fact, it has pretty bad view range. I think only the 5916 at this tier has worse, but from this position, he does still have pretty good coverage. He's already starting to rack up some spotting damage. And I say that this is the smart move, not just because he's in a light tank at the start of a battle, but because he's in a French auto-loading light tank at the start of the battle. That 4-shot autoloader might be able to spit out 4 shells in very rapid succession, but they're only really capable of doing 540 average damage before he has to run away and reload, and at the beginning of a battle, you can't kill anything with 540 damage. Tiger spotted behind him. Would anybody like to shoot the Tiger? Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to shoot the Tiger? Thank you very much. All this spot and damage is adding up. Oh no, that guy's far too close. It's time to get the hell out of here. But yes, to elaborate further on what I was just saying, French autoloading light tanks, probably far more than other light tanks, definitely need to conserve their health as much as humanly possible right at the start of any battle that they find themselves in, because these autoloaders become exponentially more dangerous the longer that they can survive. Because at the beginning of a battle there isn't an awful lot that you can kill with an average damage output of 540, but that situation changes the longer the battle goes on. The trick therefore is to not only stay alive as long as you can, something that many of his teammates have already failed at, but to stay alive as long as you can while also being useful to the team and making sure that you have enough ammunition that you continue to remain useful to the team right up until the last minute of the battle. Something that Orzi is desperately trying to do, but unfortunately, due to the generally terrible gun handling performance of the AMX-12T's 75mm gun, he's finding it a little bit of an uphill struggle. Seriously, if you go to the World of Tanks wiki and check out the entry for this tank, it says it has good accuracy. Yeah, this tank has 0.4 accuracy. Now, that might be good if you're in a KV-2, which has 0.6, but it's not really good by any other measurable standard. And you only get that 0.4 when you're stationary and moving the turret as little as you possibly can. Because the AMX-12T's accuracy while on the move is catastrophically bad. A feature common to most of the French autoloaders, who tend to learn very early on that you only fire the gun when you're stationary, camping in a bush, when you're doing a drive-by at point-blank range, or when you're circle strafing something also at point-blank range that's considerably bigger, heavier and slower than you are. On the bright side, most things are bigger, heavier and slower than the AMX-12T. But the point of all this is that AMX-12T drivers should be very conservative with their ammunition and really only shoot when they are pretty sure they've got a better than average chance of hitting whatever it is that they're firing at. Like that T20 down there. Oh, nice shot, sir. You see, the reason for this is because of another feature common to most of the French light tank autoloaders, and well, not just the light tanks, the mediums too. They do not carry a lot of ammunition. AMX-12T drivers enter the battle with 36 rounds loaded, so you really do have to make every shot count. Particularly when each shot, congratulations on your second kill, Aussie, when each shot only does 135 average damage. It is all too easy in an AMX-12T, even if you successfully manage to conserve your health till the end of the game, it is all too easy to fail to conserve your ammunition by just blazing away willy-nilly at anything that you think you might have a chance of hitting. Now, matters are not helped when your team collapses like this, and even if you have been conservative with your ammunition, there are 6 enemy tanks left, and, well, okay, 3 of them are artillery, but you can't count on all 6 of them to kill themselves. And even the artillery generally only kill themselves when they're either losing or they're just on Himmelsdorf. And they're definitely not losing. And they're equally definitely not on Himmelsdorf. The other problem that Aussie has here is that while his surviving teammate is in a T29, and the T29 is a very, very good tank, but Aussie's in a 4-shot autoloading tank with 278 health left. He can only really give support in very, very small and measured doses, and the T29 is dead. 6 enemies remaining. Manages to take out the P43, but did get spotted by the Type 64. Almost gets killed by the Type 64, but does get extremely lucky with his tracks eating the shot. Burns the repair kit instantly so he can get back on the move, allowing him to avoid the inevitable artillery fire, although only one, I guess the other 2 were concentrating on the T29 at the time. 1 against 5. The problem here, of course, is that he's very rapidly running out of ground to retreat to, and the instant that Type 64 spots him again, he's going to have all 3 artillery on him. He does have one advantage over the Type 64, however, and it's not the god-awful accuracy of his 75mm gun even when he is stationary. He's smart enough to hide behind the bushes and not drive right over the top of an open hill. He knows he's going to take 1 hit from the Type 64. It's worth it to get the kill because the Type 64 was easily the biggest threat. Not just because of his own damage output, but, well, there. Yes, of course. He was spotting for artillery. The first artillery shot didn't land anywhere near him. The second one almost landed right on top of him. It did stun his crew. And, well, when your speed manoeuvrability is a factor, and it is right now, you don't want to be dealing with the effects of a stun, so he burnt his first aid kit to take care of that. And now relocating as quickly as he possibly can, because the tables have turned. Up until this point, I'm pretty sure the enemy team were all shouting no cap, kill all, but now they only have an IS and 3 artillery, and they're trying to find an AMX-12T, which, despite its shortcomings, short view range for a light tank, terrible gun handling and limited ammunition capacity, is extremely small, extremely quick and extremely sneaky. So if you're in this kind of situation in an IS or an SPG and your plan is to drive around the map trying to find one of these little French buggers, well, you're basically planning to lose. Your alternative, which doesn't offer much greater chances of success, is to try to flush him out of hiding by driving into his cap circle. Yeah, like I said, it's an alternative. It doesn't offer much greater chances of success, and it very, very nearly worked, because I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting to drive into the 2 artillery. And of course, there was absolutely no way Aussie was ever going to stop to aim carefully under those circumstances. And even careering right through the middle of those 2 SPGs at full speed, they very, very nearly finished him. And of course, because he was firing on the move, and because this thing has absolutely atrocious gun handling on the move, he missed as many shots as he hit. So he was able to get 1, but not both of them. Aussie's reloaded. I'm just curious to see what that M44 does, because I think it looked like he was coming after him, which is an extremely brave move. I mean, it is an M44. He is coming after him. Spotted him, pulls back. It's still going to take 2 shots. But of course, by exploiting cover intelligently, he was able to do it without getting spotted. But here's the thing. He still has to find and kill the IS and the Hummel. And the Hummel's going to take 3 shots. which means he's only got 4 shots left to deal with the IS. So if the IS has more than 540 health, Orzy could be in a lot of trouble here. Oh look, there's the IS. How much health does he have? Oh dear. Yeah, that's not good. When you've only got 7 shots left, you can do without those bouncers. IS returned fire, but it was completely blind. He has absolutely... well, he knows the direction that Orzanel's firing from, but he can't see him. So that leaves 3 shots, and that's enough to kill the Hummel, but that leaves him exactly nothing to deal with the IS. And the IS still has nearly 500 health, and you're not going to be ramming any ISs to death in an AMX-12T. On the bright side, he knows where the Hummel is. Somebody's capping. It's definitely not the IS. That's actually not a bad move from the Hummel, because you don't want to be chasing an AMX-12T around a map in an IS or a Hummel. You have to make him come to you, and the only practical way to do that is to do something that the AMX-12T cannot ignore, and that's exactly what the Hummel's doing. The problem, of course, is that he's in a Hummel, and this is an AMX-12T. So if the IS has fallen back to a blocking position, and it doesn't look like he has, if he fires now and gets spotted, the IS is on his right and has seen him. And he's firing now and he hasn't been spotted, and he has killed the Hummel, and the IS did not see him, so was probably not falling back to a blocking position, although we might be heading back this way now. And he is. Run, Orzanel! Run for your life! Although I'm still curious as to what you're going to do about your ammunition situation, because, well, basically you don't have any, and you still have an IS to kill, and the IS has almost 500 health. You ain't going to kill him by ramming him, I can tell you that for nothing. Although, you know, it's Orzanel, he doesn't need me to tell him. Even if you were on full health, you probably wouldn't survive a ram with an IS, and you're definitely not on full health. So, what's the plan? Well, you don't have to win by killing everything on the enemy team. It really just depends on how much of a pants-on-head day that IS driver is having, because at the moment Orzanel is literally running rings around him. I mean, really, really big 2-kilometre wide rings, but rings nonetheless. So I think it's fairly safe to say that the IS has no idea where Orzanel is, and he's got 2 choices. Does he fall back to defend his cap circle, or does he push on and try to succeed where the Hummel failed, except this time without any covering fire? Because the IS doesn't know that Orzanel is out of ammunition. So, you know, either proposition is extremely risky. And there is no cover in this cap circle, by the way. So Orzanel's making some. And he's going to attempt to win by capping. Now, the enemy team never really stood a chance of winning by capping. The Hummel occupying the cap circle was really only designed to draw Orzanel out and feed him to the IS, who, well, kind of, you know, didn't do a very good job of it. But Orzanel absolutely can win by capping, depending on how good a job he's done of confusing the IS driver as to exactly where he was going. I mean, he knows where he is now, he's in the cap circle. And while there isn't any cover in the cap circle, and that is a really, really obvious set of knocked over trees, the approach to the cap circle, and he probably is, because he's got less than a minute to get this interrupt, the approach is blocked by all of those buildings. Oh, I heard a shot. Which means, is he up there? Because he can see the cap circle. He's shooting into it. But he can't see Orzanel. More surprisingly, he fired into the cap circle and Orzanel can't see him. Even more surprisingly, where did he fire? I mean, there's only one possible place Orzanel could be. Because there's only one piece of cover. Because it's the cover that Orzanel made, and oh, he fired again. Is he firing into the trees? I honestly don't know. I think Orzy's feeling the pressure here. He's backing right up to make the most of his concealment. Oh, where is he? There he is. Oh, he... Still couldn't see him. Well, he got there, a day late and $1 short. He destroyed the obvious concealment, the buildings in the middle of the cap circle, which don't stop anything other than high explosive shells and certainly don't provide any concealment, but didn't stop to ask himself the question, ooh, I wonder who knocked those trees over. So Orzanel wins. Honestly didn't see that one coming. I mean, when he spotted that IS, when he only had 7 shots left, and the IS still had 900 health, and he had the Hummel to kill as well, I was thinking, okay, I know you win this one because I've seen the post-battle results screen, but my question now is how? And, well, yeah, that's how. So I hope you lot enjoyed that one as much as I did, and, well, if you want to see any more, you know how this works by now, links down below in the video description to Orzanel's Twitch channel. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.